Theresa May has announced that she wants to hold a general election on the 8th of June, 3 years earlier than scheduled. What is a general election? A general election is how the British public decide who they want to represent them in Parliament, and ultimately run the country. Everyone who is eligible and registered gets to vote for one candidate to represent their local area, which is known in Parliament as a constituency. The candidates standing for election are usually drawn from political parties, but can also stand as independents. The person with the most votes in a constituency is elected as its MP, to represent their constituency in the House of Commons. The leader of the political party, with the most MPs after the election, is expected to be asked by the Queen to become Prime Minister and form a government to run the country. The leader of the political party with the second highest number of MPs normally becomes leader of the opposition, who is allowed to vote. Basically, if you're aged 18 or over on election day, registered to vote and a British citizen, you can vote. Citizens of the Republic of Ireland resident in the UK and citizens of qualifying Commonwealth states resident in the UK can also vote if they are over 18 and registered to vote. What if I live abroad? British citizens living abroad can register online to vote as an overseas voter, if they have been registered to vote in the UK in the past 15 years. How do I register to vote? To vote in a general election, you must be registered to vote. Registration is open throughout the year, although there will be a deadline for registering to vote at this general election once the date has officially been confirmed by Parliament. Voters can check if they are already registered by contacting their local electoral registration office using the Electoral Commission's website. People in England, Wales and Scotland can register to vote online, or download the forms to register by post from the government's website. Voters in Northern Ireland use a different form that is returned to their local area electoral office. When is the deadline to register to vote? Assuming you are eligible, you can register anytime, but be aware that there will be a deadline. The deadline to register for the last general election was 12 working days before people went to the polls. Assuming we follow the same timetable, the deadline would be the 22nd of May. You can even get yourself on the register if you are 16 or 17, but you will have to have turned 18 before the 8th of June to actually be eligible to vote. What if I'm on holiday? You can vote either by post or by proxy, that is, appoint someone else to register your vote on your behalf. To do that, you can download the form here. Whoever you nominate must be eligible to vote in the election themselves. If you want to post it, you need to apply 11 working days before the election, in this case the 24th of May. What is a snap election? British Prime Ministers used to be free to hold a general election whenever they felt like it, but new laws passed by Mrs. May's predecessor David Cameron changed that. Under the 2011 Fixed-Term Parliaments Act, a general election is supposed to take place every 5 years on the first Thursday in May, as the most recent general election was in 2015. The next one was scheduled for May 2020. But an election can be called ahead of schedule for two reasons: if there is a vote of no confidence in the current government, or if MPs vote for an early election by a two-thirds majority. Theresa May has chosen the second option, which would require MPs from her political party, the Conservatives, and also some MPs from opposition party Labour to vote in favour of having the election earlier than that. In this case, the 8th of June 2017. How unusual is a snap election? It depends how you define it, but if we are talking about one that was called less than 4 years after the previous election, you have to go back to 1966. In that case, the then Prime Minister Harold Wilson wanted to increase the number of Labour MPs in Parliament and a mandate to govern.